kidding me? Go away! I can see your face. I don't know why you're banging on my car. Wow.
Let's have a look at one incident here which literally stemmed from nothing and see what we could have done differently and certainly what may have been a better choice in a reality check that's absolutely smashing.
Are you kidding me? Go away! What are you? I can see your face. I don't know why you're banging on my car. Wow. What are you doing? Are you f***ing kidding me? Can someone call 911 for me, please? What are you doing and what did I do to you? I did what? I honked at the car that wasn't turning. Sitting in the middle of the drive.
Use your brain.
Use my brain? It had nothing to do with you.
As we start in the middle of things here, we don't know what started this incident off, but we do get insights into what happened later on. The gentleman is confronting the female in her car. Now, for those out there that are always opposed to my use of the word gentleman when I use these things, remember, I'm English. Our language is often reversed. So if I'm being polite about you, chances are I'm really meaning the opposite. He's in the window of this female's car, pressing on it, trying to get into the car to confront her. Now, right away, we have someone that's got anger issues and that clearly is not in control of his faculties and behavior. Something has aggrieved him terribly. We know this because he's there giving the old bird through the window and he's clearly desperately trying to get in that car so he can remonstrate, probably physically, with this female. She's screaming back at him, I don't know why you're covering your face. We've already seen you. I've got you on camera. We know who you are. What is your major malfunction? Not the exact words, but you get the gist. It's at this point he decides to let his frustrations be known, and he punches that window once and twice, gets some spider webbing going on that glass. Aside from anything else here, punching a window is a really stupid thing to do. It doesn't take long for that glass to start to cut and shred you. In fact, the professional wrestler Bill Goldberg nearly lost his entire arm because he smashed the window with his elbow once and cut it all the way up and nearly bled out. So as this guy smashes the window, his anger has boiled over to the point where his decision making isn't the sharpest. You'll notice he then starts to run away. What's interesting here, if you look at the escalation, de-escalation, and changes in morphology within his behaviors, he's gone from wanting to get out of the car, violent, enraged, smashing the window, to, oh shit, I've gone that little bit too far. Because he now realizes his actions and his threats have tipped over. This is the difference between an action and a reaction. A reaction is when you do something just instinctively, you're not thinking about it. You're just in that moment and you do it. The problem is, just as it is with toothpaste, you ain't putting that back in the tube now. A physical reaction to anything that isn't a physical threat to you, your property, or another person is never excusable. It just simply means you've lost your ability to control yourself. As he's now going away from the scene, she decides to exit the car and go after him and pursue him. Now, pause a moment. Is this smart? Is this sensible? He's already demonstrated a willingness to get physical and engage. He tried to get in the car in the first place. He's punched the glass out in the window. Do you think for a moment there's a high likelihood that he may actually turn around and physically assault you when you're chasing him down? Chances are yes. The only thing that's currently saving her here is he's desperate to get away. He knows he's made a mistake and he wants to get away from there because he knows he's now committed a tangible offense. He's unlocking his bike, he's getting on his cycle, and he's tipping out of there. It's actually here we get some insight into what was going on.
What are you doing and what did I do to you? I did what? I honked at the car that wasn't turning.
She honked, and he thought she was honking at him. If you're so fragile that someone honking at you is going to cause this sort of trigger over to you, you, my friend, have got issues. I don't care what is going on in your life. Someone honking a horn at you should not elicit that kind of response. But this is again indicative of how much additional stress, additional anger, and additional stupidity we carry around with us on a day-to-day basis. The big scary stuff that we know is coming, we can brace for that storm. It's the noises that come from the side that make you go, boo! Those are the ones that genuinely cause very strange reactions. And in this instance, someone honking a horn, which it turns out was at the car in front that wasn't moving, he took as a slight against him. And that slight against him, he took to be something that needed physical remonstration and action. And look what we ended up with. He's basically smashed her window in, criminal mischief charge there. Hopefully he injured himself, because stupidity should be its own reward. And then she put herself in harm's way by going out after him. She already had this guy on camera. She knows who he is in terms of the picture, and it can be easily identified. That is, after all, the only extra evidence that was submitted to the police in the first place for this file. As he's going off on the bike, an extra picture of his butt cheeks working backwards and forwards on the seat ain't going to help identify him any better. They don't do lineups that way in the police anymore. So her actions afterwards are also what we call anger-driven and anger-triggered. He smashed the window in. She's upset, so she's now acting in a reactive nature. Understandable, possibly. But is it sensible? Is it safe? And is it even the right thing to do? She's got him on film. She knows who he is. Submit it. The process will take care of itself. The window isn't going any less smashed. He isn't going to be any less punchy on that glass. And the identification ain't going to get any better. And let's be honest, she ain't going to be able to stop him anyway. All too often, the reactions that we do in anger when someone says something to us that we take as a slight, does an action that we disagree with, hell, even supports a political stance we don't align with. We take it to the physical things because there's frustration within us. We can't express that anger any other way. This is the mentality of a toddler throwing a tantrum. Is there always a time and a place for violence? Actually, yes, there is. There's a reason I still teach martial arts. There's a reason I instruct people in violence. There's a reason I teach law enforcement, and there's a reason I teach people that operate at levels which require some very specific guidelines which we don't generally share. But these aren't day-to-day. They're context-driven. They're context-based. If I don't have to become violent, why would I? Why would I choose violence? Because violence isn't any level of power. It simply means at some point a communication has failed, and I'm using violence to rectify it. It's the equivalent of a Band-Aid. It fixes nothing other than the immediate situation. If we can address that within ourselves, those little trigger points, and understand where we're coming from, we can avoid precisely these kind of situations. Honking at someone should not be a cause to trigger you to smash a window. And someone smashing your window, if you're not going to then go and do anything else, should be something that you think twice about following up on. If you're going to go and arrest this guy and give him a good kicking, okay, that's a personal choice of yours. I'm not saying you're right, and I'm not saying you're wrong. But you ain't going to get anything better. Your window's still broken, and his identification is still going to be there for the police. There's no such thing as right and wrong when it comes to your own personal moral guidelines. There's always what's going to get you the best result. Remember, a cup of coffee and a packet of biscuits, it's always waiting for you at the end of the day if you make the right decisions. And the right decisions go both ways, both to the person that's doing that initial aggression and how we choose to react to that aggression when it's put in front of us. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and thank you for all of you that keep writing to us, sending us the video clips, making suggestions. And for those of you that are asking how we can go about training with us, let me tell you about the opportunities we have. Reality Check is available for seminars, both in person and virtually, for small groups of individuals or for corporate training. We can help you become better leaders, better teachers, better martial artists, and all round we can help improve your outlook on life as an individual. We can't guarantee safety and we can't guarantee results, but we can guarantee we'll give you an insight into yourself, your own triggers and decision-making protocols, and set you up with the best possible chance for success. Hit us up at realitycheckbudo@gmail.com to inquire about training opportunities, and we'll be more than happy to help take you to the next level.